Hi YouTube, welcome to another edition of Horror Hands, and for this video we're going to be going through the greatest horror movie sequels of all time. Not according to me, but according to you guys, the people that watch this channel. Yes, a couple of weeks ago I put it out to you guys to let me know what were your favourite horror movie sequels. Thank you to everyone for getting involved. I'm always surprised and humbled by how many people do get involved with these kind of things. I had so many people leave some excellent comments and suggestions, and from that I've been able to devise this excellent list of horror movie sequels. Now quickly, the way it worked was I asked you for up to your top 10, and I did a scoring system where your number one, the first movie you mentioned, got 10 points, your number 2 got 9 points, your number 3 got 8 points, and so on and so on. So your number 10 choice just got a point. Collated all this behind the scenes and can now bring a definitive list for you in this video. So once again, thank you so much for getting involved. We'll go through the top 100. I had about 180 films suggested in total, so apologies if your movie hasn't made the top 100, but it really was great reading all your comments and seeing some of the more obscure suggestions. But yeah, we'll go through sort of 100 to 21 pretty quickly, and then we'll talk in a bit more detail about what are, according to you guys, the top 20 greatest horror sequels. Okay, so we'll let's start from 100 and we'll quickly go through these movies and then get to the top 20. So a film needed at least 8 points to get into the top 100, and here we can see a bunch of them with 8 and 9 points. Still some great movies. Terrifier 3, I thought that was cool. Tremors 2 is a favourite of mine from childhood. That was the first Tremors movie I ever saw. Happy Death Day to You, I thought that had a good concept. Brides of Dracula, one of the best Hammer horror films, very underrated movie. Boggy Creek 2, a guilty pleasure of mine as well. So these are the lowest scoring ones, but still some strong movies amongst these films as we start off here into 100 onwards. So a few votes for Pearl, which I didn't like that franchise at all, but again, this is your countdown. Sleepaway Camp 2 is a really fun one. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, that's probably my second favourite of all the Texas Chainsaw films, so good to see that make the list. Night of the Demons 2 is a fun one. Some good Hammer representation here, with Dracula has risen from the grave and Frankenstein must be destroyed. And then, yeah, just more good films. That's a very underrated one. Damien, Omen 2, that would be a lot higher up on my own countdown. And then there was a couple of votes for Zombie 2, Zombie Flesh Eaters. I threw that in as an unofficial sequel to Dawn of the Dead. More great movies here. Halloween H2O. I've always loved that movie. I vividly remember that one coming out and being bigged up a lot. Dr. Five Rises Again. Great one there. Good to see that one get some nominations. Predator 2. Cool movie. Critters 2 is a fun one. 10 Cloverfield Lane I thought was fantastic. I actually enjoyed that more than Cloverfield. I thought it was such a well set up film. And Hellraiser 3 as well. Got to say that would be a lot higher than number 40 on my own list. I do love Hellraiser 3. I think that one's such a good film. And some really good films here, just missing out on the top 20. But Devil's Rejects, probably my favourite Rob Zombie movie. Rec 2 is insanely good. Friday the 13th Part 3, my favourite Friday the 13th film. I would definitely have had that probably in my top 10, not just top 20. Jaws 2, nice to see that get some votes. Army of Darkness is a fun one. Terminator 2 did very well. Let me know what you think about that. I do have Terminator 1, 2 and 3 in my horror collection. It does have some horror elements, particularly the first one, but you know, it's still killer robots and things like that. But Terminator 2 did very well in this countdown. Let me know what you think. And then just missing out in the top 20, Phantasm 2 and Amityville 2. Amityville 2 is a great film. Phantasm 2 is pretty good, actually. It's that was the one where they clearly had a lot more budget and studio backing, and it does benefit from it. So yeah, that is all the movies that from 100 to the ones here that just missed out on getting into the top 20. Okay guys, so into the top 20 greatest horror movie sequels according to you guys. And in at number 20 with 48 points, we have The Conjuring 2 from 2016. This one was nominated by Heather Smith, MonkeyTube, Scripter 13, MovieBoff, Paulson's Adventures, Matthew Wills, Gary Pryor, and the TV and music guy. And The Conjuring 2, personally, I think it's a great sequel. Probably my favourite of the Conjuring franchise. This one I just found very engaging, very entertaining, and pretty scary as well. It's loosely based on the Enfield haunting, which is a famous ghostly case here in the UK, where they reported all this violent poltergeist activity in this suburban house. And I like how it kind of weaves that into a story around the Warrens investigating that. And yeah, some pretty intense stuff goes on in this one. I thought it was generally a really well made film and a great follow-up to the first Conjuring movie. Having this at number 20, personally, I'm pretty okay with that. I think I'd probably have this around there myself. Maybe not quite top 20, but it would certainly be around that number. So I think number 20 on this list is quite fair for The Conjuring 2. But let me know what you guys think of that placement. But in at your number 20 is The Conjuring 2. In at number 19 with 51 points is Dracula, Prince of Darkness from 1966. Great to see this one make the top 20. This one was suggested by Erinomi, Monster Gab, Eric, Alan Slade and Eduardo Bueno. And yeah, this is a great movie. Great follow-up to the first Hammer horror, Dracula. I'd say as good, arguably better in some ways. I think this is the one where Count Dracula doesn't say any lines, which I feel gives this character a real mysticism and creepiness in this one. I think in reality, Christopher Lee was so embarrassed by the script to this one, he actually refused to say any of the lines, which is simply why the Count doesn't speak in this one. I'd love to have seen what that original script was. But considering that anyway, this is still a fantastic movie. Great kind of quintessential Hammer horror in the Gothic castle and things like that, with the lavish colours and that deep, powerful Hammer horror music. I also really like the climax of this on the ice, where you see kind of the Count slipping around and then falling through the ice into the icy water. That was a really good setup and a great and memorable scene in this movie. So number 19, this one kind of caught me by surprise. I've not thought about this one as much as other sequels. I don't know if it would make my top 20, but it is a movie that I love. I could watch it right now and be fully immersed in it. So yeah, maybe not in my top 20, but great to see it there anyway. Let me know what you guys think. In at number 19 is Dracula, Prince of Darkness. In at number 18 with 52 points is Bride of Reanimator from 1990. This one was suggested by Howard Barker, Planet Max, Martin McLaughlin, Logan Thomas, Hudson, Millie Congan and Necro Pink. This one, guys, you had to let me know. I haven't seen Bride of Reanimator for many, many years. I know I liked it. I like all three Reanimator films, but I sadly, I can't talk too vividly on this one because my memory isn't that good. So let me know what you think. This one has come in at number 18. I certainly remember it being a strong follow-up to the first Reanimator film. I think Jeffrey Combs is still gives a great performance in this one, and there's a fair bit of gore in this if I remember correctly, but unfortunately this is not one I've watched all that much. With that in mind, I don't think Bride of Reanimator would make my top 20 unless I gave it a rewatch and really enjoyed it. But you guys have put it in the top 20. Let me know what you think. But in at number 18 is Bride of Reanimator. In at number 17 with 59 points is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 from 1986. This one, I'll be honest, this one made me groan slightly. I've said numerous times on the channel, I'm not a fan of this movie. This doesn't do anything for me. I just didn't like the jarring change of tone to this one. The fact that you have one of the most rawest, unflinching, frightening movies ever, and you make a sequel that's a sort of a jokey, just silly kind of movie, just didn't work at all. It has been a long time since I've seen the second Texas Chainsaw. I should watch it again, to be fair, because I don't remember very much at all, other than feeling quite frustrated that they just U-turned everything and made Leatherface and his whole family into these sort of caricature style jokes. I'm not a fan of it. Plenty of you people are though. A lot of people going for this. Brian Gilson, Jason O'Neill, Film Wolf, Jack David, Logan Thomas, Paige Halberg, Atomic Snack Bar, The Real Killard, McDaddy, Bender Rodriguez, Hudson, Necro Pink, Daniel Sweet, and the TV and music guy. You are all fans of this movie, which is great. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I feel if you can like this film, there's a lot of fun to be had with it. As I say, the tone didn't do it for me. So this certainly wouldn't be in my top 20. But you guys have put it in at number 17. Let me know if you agree with that or not. But yeah, in at your number 17 is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. In at number 16 with 65 points is Smile 2 from 2024. Now, I have just recently watched this movie myself, and I gotta say, I was blown away by how good this movie was. I started this one off with a degree of kind of neutrality and somewhat cynicism, if you will. I kind of consider the first Smile to be a decent film, but the scares and the jump scares are quite baseline horror. They just throw a few creepy looking people out there, and that's kind of what you get. And I expected the same from Smile 2, but the direction this movie goes in, and the twists and turns, and the crazy things that happen to this female lead in the film, who's like an international pop star, just absolutely drew me into the film. And it's just it's such an improvement on the first film. It's got a great, strong storyline to it. There's a couple of twists in this which I really did not see coming. The imagery in it is reliably scary and things like that. And yeah, just the crazy story that this one weaves is just fantastic. And this was kind of like what a sequel should be, just bigger and better in every way than the first movie, which is not a bad movie. So again, a few people going for Smile 2. Turn the Blue Iris, Kerr666, Heather Smith, Eric, Unforeseen, Nat K, Scriptor 13, Evil Ash, Dollar Store, K Kademon, Matthew Wills, and Unforeseen. You all enjoyed this one too, to nominate it. I don't know whether it's recency bias or not, but I'd certainly have this around my top 20. I really did enjoy this movie, and I love the fact that it changed my perspective on this one, where I was expecting very middle of the road modern horror and was just blown away by how good it was. So credit to the movie for that. So not sure if it would be in my top 20, but right now Smile 2 wouldn't be that far off. But you guys have put it in there. Let me know what you think, because this is a modern one. So in at number 16 is Smile 2. In at number 15 with 66 points is Demons 2 from 1986. I was thrilled to see this one make the top 20. Didn't think it would, but it did get enough nominations. Colin Taylor, Heather Smith, Nablonian 88, Film Wolf, Mildred Mittens, 80s Film Fan, The Real Killer, Funky Trousers, Daniel Gam Gam Gam, Midokongren and Necro Pink all going for Demons 2 and getting it in the top 20. This would absolutely be in my top 20, probably higher for me. I absolutely love Demons 1 and 2. I find it hard to separate them, and at times I probably think Demons 2 is my favourite of the two. I love the apartment complex setting. The demons and the gore and the effects in this one are on point. They're as good as the first film. And I think the soundtrack for part 2 is better than the first one. It was good in the first movie, but Demons 2 just seems to throw in a lot of quite obscure heavy metal music that I happen to love. So I really do connect with Demons 2. It's an absolute favourite of mine. I think for me it would probably be pushing my top 10 best horror sequels. You guys have got it in at number 15, so still great to see that in my opinion, but let me know what you guys think. But in at number 15 is Demons 2. In at number 14 with 69 points is Halloween 2 from 1981. Pam Cormack, Jason Taylor, movie collector, Evil Ash, 80s Film Fan, Professor Cliff Davenport, Duffy Noodle Legs and Gary Pryor all going for Halloween 2. I love this movie. Halloween 2 grows and grows in my estimation of this one, to the point where I almost put it on par with the first one. There's even a couple of moments in Halloween 2 which I think are better than the first movie. It's a great it makes for a great double feature watching them both back to back. I love the hospital setting. Michael Myers is a bit of a badass in this one. He does some cool stuff. And yeah, it's a great sequel that I actually think improves as time goes on. So this one at number 14, this is another one I think for me would be higher. This would be in and around my top 10. And I won't say too much about some other movies that are coming up, but yeah, I'd certainly have this higher than some other movies which I'll touch on later. But yeah, you guys have got it in at number 14. So I thought it would do a little bit better, but that's still not bad. So in at number 14 is Halloween 2. In at number 13 with 71 points is Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers from 1988. This one, Brendan Brambles, Jason O'Neill, David Santacarla, Movie Buff, Eduardo Bueno, Funky Trousers, Andy's Rise, and Stand By for Summary Combustion, and Daniel Gam 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 and Paul Bond all going for this one. So Halloween 4 is a very enjoyable sequel. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I do like it. I think this one, from what I remember, does a great job of capturing the autumnal Halloween feel. It's one of the things I distinctly remember enjoying about Halloween 4. It's got some decent kills in this one. I think this one you've got Danielle Harris, the introduction of her character as well, which is a really good addition to the Halloween franchise. So Halloween 4, I got no problem with this one being in the top 20. I wouldn't place it higher than Halloween 2 personally, but it's a sequel that I definitely enjoy and need to revisit actually. I want to watch it again after this one. I saw this one make the top 20. So yeah, in at number 13 is Halloween 4. In at number 12 with 80 points is Friday the 13th, the final chapter. So the fourth installment in the Friday the 13th franchise, my favourite franchise. Great to see this one make the top 20. I know this is a popular one within the Friday the 13th franchise. Davini 13, Howard Barker, Matt Blah, Heather Smith, Jason Taylor, Ron Shackelford, James Moss, Evil Ash, The Real Killer, Matthew Wills, Hudson and Gary Pryor all going for Friday the 13th Part 4. This one, I really like it. It's not my favourite of the franchise. drags a little bit for me. I did watch part 4 not too long ago, and it's got some awesome moments. Jason's great in it. The characters are great. The kills are great. There's just a bit where the teens are sort of sat around late at night, and it loses a bit of steam for me, which I don't really notice in other Friday the 13th films. But I don't sort of disagree with this one being in the top 20. I'm not sure if it would make my top 20 or not, but it wouldn't be far off because I do enjoy it. And as I say, Friday the 13th is my favourite franchise. So let me know what you think of this one. But in at your number 12 is Friday the 13th, the final chapter. In at number 11 with 83 points is The Bride of Frankenstein from 1935. Great to see this vintage classic make the top 20. Paul Childs, Eric, Brendan Brambles, Alan Slade, Martin McLaughlin, Film Wolf, Jack David, BBB, C Chase 100, Paige Halberg, Scripter 13, Hudson and Daniel Sweet all throwing in a nomination for Bride of Frankenstein. And this is an absolutely fantastic movie. I remember, I think it was last year, I rewatched all the Universal monster films for a video on that subject, and The Bride of Frankenstein was just head and shoulders the best film of all those movies. I wasn't expecting it to be. I was thinking like Creature from the Black Lagoon or Frankenstein was going to be my favourite, and I mean they are amazing films, but Bride of Frankenstein just has everything, and even felt ahead of its time with the effects and the science behind it, and more of the electricity and all that kind of thing. It was such a ambitious film for its time. Wonderful performances from Boris Karloff and Elsa Lanchester as the bride. It is just, I thought if I was going to signpost one of those 1930s Universal movies, I think it would have to be The Bride of Frankenstein, because it is so good and there's just so much going on in that movie. It's fantastic. So yeah, I have no reservations with this one being in the top 20. 11 is, I think, probably fair. Myself, I probably would have it around that place anyway. So in at your number 11 is Bride of Frankenstein. We are into the top 10 of the greatest horror sequels ever made. And in at number 10 with 89 points is Hellbound, Hellraiser II from 1988. A few people going for this one. Davini 13, Howard Barker, Turn the Blue Iris, Kerr 666, Eric, Brendan Rambles, Nick Murphy, Planet Max, Martin McLaughlin, James Moss, Paul Bond, 80s film fan, The Real Killer, Professor Cliff Davenport, Dollar Store, Cake a Demon, McDaddy, Bender Rodriguez, Hudson, Midi Congren, and Unforeseen. All going for this one. And yeah, Hellbound, great sequel. Really good sequel to the first Hellraiser film. I feel like it keeps the strong elements of the first film and explores other things in a bit more detail. Principally that labyrinth of hell, things like that, which was really intriguing. The gore in this one is still horrifying. I mean, that mattress scene is like, wow. When I watched that as a kid, it was, yeah, pretty hard hitting. We have the addition of Dr. Chenard in this, who's a great character, sinister both as a Cenobite and as a doctor, which was pretty scary. I would have liked the face-off between Pinhead and Dr. Chenard to have been a bit more lengthy. They kind of have you think there's going to be a bit of a Cenobite battle, but it doesn't happen. I think that was a massive missed opportunity for Hellraiser 2. But other than that, I think this is a really strong sequel, which is in keeping to the first Hellraiser. So this one at number 10, I wouldn't argue with that one too much. I think this would be in my top 20. I don't know if it will quite reach number 10, but it would be in the mix for me. So I don't have too many issues with this one being where it is. But let me know what you guys think. In at number 10 is Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. In at number 9 with 93 points is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch from 1982. This one and another all popular ones from now on. This was nominated by Howard Barker, Hoops Hooper, Erin Omi, Paul Childs, Vicky Hager, Da Vinci, Pete Priestley, Tara Darwin, Paul Bond, Atomic Snack Bar, Movie Buff, Dollar Store, Cake a Demon, and Daniel Gam Gam Gam. Halloween 3, not for me in terms of the top 20. I gotta be honest. It's an okay film. It's an interesting one. Halloween 3 is the one that everyone seemed to famously hate for years and years, and now it's kind of turned around and everyone kind of loves it as this misunderstood movie. For me, it's okay. It's not a Halloween film. As a separate film, it's alright. It's pretty decent. Tom Atkins was great in it. I like the concept of the mask kind of taking over kids, and it's got a couple of quite scary moments in it. It's not a good enough film for me to make the top 20, and it's not really a sequel enough to Halloween to be in my top 20. And again, I'd put Halloween 2 higher than this movie. So personally, I wouldn't have it here at number 9, but let me know what you guys think. Clearly a lot of people find this one to be a good movie. So what do you think? Is that a fair play? Should it be higher? Should it be lower? Let me know. But in at number 9, we have Halloween 3. In at number 8, with 98 points, is The Exorcist III from 1990. This one got nominations from Colin Taylor, Paul Childs, Someone Is Else, Movie Collector, Jack David, Ron Shackelford, Sea Chase 100, Daniel Smith, Mighty Source, Christopher Charles, Paul Bond, Evil Ash, Craig, Eduardo Bueno, Dollar Store Cake a Demon, Stand By for Summary Combustion, McDaddy Ben Rodriguez, Paul, The Undead of Night, and Gary Pryor. Yeah, good to see this one make the top 10. Exorcist 3 is a great sequel. This is a movie that seemed to just lay dormant for years and years, but has quite rightfully found a degree of popularity and recognition now. This is a great, almost like detective horror story with George C. Scott, who really commands the scene as he's investigating a serial killer who claims to be a long deceased serial killer, and it all gets a bit creepy and intense. So yeah, I would say Exorcist 3 at number 8. I would say that's pretty bang on for me. I would have that around there in my own countdown. It really is a fantastic sequel and a great film. So let me know what you guys think, if you'd agree with that one as well. But I think that's a pretty fair placing. So in at number 8 is Exorcist 3. In at number 7 with 120 points is Psycho 2 from 1983. This one got nominations from Paul Child, Planet Max, Martin McLaughlin, Film Wolf, Ron Shackelford, Sea Chase 100, Logan Thomas, Gobblebox, Craig, Richard English, Eduardo Bueno, Professor Cliff Davenport, Stand By for Summary Combustion, Joppy Noodle Legs, Daniel Gam Gam Gam, Paul, Daniel Sweet, Unforeseen, and Gary Pryor. So Psycho 2, same as Exorcist 3, for years nobody ever talked about Psycho 2. I always thought it was a good film, but it was one of those where I thought I was the only person that had ever seen it. And then kind of, you know, one of the benefits and the beauty of YouTube is more people can connect, and I see actually how popular Psycho 2 is, and it seems to get recognised more nowadays for being the great sequel that it is. It really is a fantastic film, and for them to take the first, Hitchcock classic and make a film as good as it was, I think is a real accomplishment. It is just kind of Psycho in the 80s, which is awesome. But in this one, Norman Bates, Anthony Perkins, returns back to the Bates Motel, and he kind of he's insistent that he's going to lead a normal, straight life. And yeah, that may or may not be the case. It's a really good story in Psycho 2 with some great moments and a great performance by Anthony Perkins. So yeah, this one, Psycho 2, in at number 7, I'd say that's probably fair. I don't watch it all that much, so I don't know if I would have it quite that high, but I certainly recognise it as a great film, and I have no reservations of this one making it to number 7. But let me know what you guys think. But in at number 7 is Psycho 2. In at number 6 with 127 points is Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, from 1986. A lot of sixes there. The highest ranking Friday the 13th movie. I'm a big fan of this one. I've talked about Friday the 13th Part 6 a lot on the channel. It's a really fun slasher film. At this point, they kind of turn it on themselves a bit and become a bit more self-referential and have a little bit of a laugh with it. Jason is awesome in this one. You've kind of got zombie Jason at this stage. He comes out of the grave at the beginning, and what I've said before is one of the greatest openings to a horror film I've ever seen. We've got some good kills in this one. The Tommy Jarvis character is good in this. We've also got, I think this is the only Friday the 13th movie where they actually have kids at the summer camp. So that's a novelty right there. But yeah, Friday the 13th Part 6, one of my favourites of the franchise. One of the most fun slashers you'll see. Not my favourite of the whole Friday the 13th movies, but definitely one of them. So this one being in at number 6, I would probably have it around there myself. Part 3 is my favourite, so I'd have Part 3 around the same place as well, which hasn't made the top 20, but I got no problems with Part 6 being where it is. So let me know. I know a lot of people turned out for this one. Hoops Hooper, Erin Owen, Brian Gilson, Jason O'Neill, Planet Max, Martin McLaughlin, Ron Shackelford, David Santacarla, Evil Ash, Movie Buff, Richard English, Funky Trousers, Paulson Adventures, Kevin Grady, McDaddy Bender Rodriguez, Daniel Gam Gam Gam, Paul, and Unforeseen, all going for Friday the 13th Part 6. So yeah, this one is definitely a favourite of mine. But let me know what you guys think. But in at number 6 is Friday the 13th Part 6. We are into the top 5 greatest horror sequels according to you guys. And in at number 5 with 147 points is Day of the Dead from 1985. This one was suggested by Davini13, Turn the Blue Iris, Hoops Hooper, Planet Max, Da Vinci, Pete Priestley, Film Wolf, Jack David, Ron Shackelford, Paige Halberg, Paul Bond, Atomic Snack Bar, The Real Killer, Movie Buff, Professor Cliff Davenport, Dollar Store, Cake a Demon, Kevin Grady, Daniel Gam Gam Gam, Millie Congren, and Necro Pink. Lots of people coming out for Day of the Dead. It is my favourite of the Romero trilogy. I love Day of the Dead. I love the setting, the characters, the zombies, and the gore in Day of the Dead is still some of the best you'll ever see. It is a fantastic movie. It's a strange one because Day of the Dead would be in my top 20 favourite horror films, but I never considered it in my top 20 favourite sequels. I don't consider it a sequel all that much, and I should, because it certainly is. So yeah, I haven't necessarily considered it that high on my own list, but I can certainly see why it's so popular, and I got no problems with this one making the top 5. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. But in at number 5 is Day of the Dead. In at number 4 with 177 points is A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors from 1987. The highest ranking Nightmare film. I know this one is very popular amongst horror fans. This one was nominated by Davini13, The Prophet, Howard Barker, Matt Blah, Hoops Hooper, Erin Omi, Kerr666, Paul Childs, Brendan Rambles, Vicky Hager, Alan Slade, Da Vinci, Planet Max, Jason Taylor, James Moss, H.H. Night Reviews, Paul Bond, David Santacarla, Evil Ash, The Real Killer, Movie Buff, Funky Trousers, Andy's Rise, Stand By for Summary Combustion, McDaddy Bender Rodriguez, Daniel Gam Gam Gam, Necro Pink, and Unforeseen. So yes, lots of votes for Nightmare 3. I like it. It's not my personal favourite Nightmare on Elm Street movie. That will be part 2. But I do really like Dream Warriors. I love it for its creativity. and all the crazy things they do where they harness their own dreams, and they do have like magical powers and things like that. It's got some crazy moments in it. Has part 3, but Freddy Krueger's fantastic in this one. The TV moment in that cut the prime time is amazing. So yeah, it wouldn't be this high for me. I would probably substitute it with part 2, but I do recognise it's a great sequel and a popular one from the franchise. So let me know what you guys think. Is that fair? But in at number 4, we have A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. We are into the top 3. And in at number 3, with 208 points, is Dawn of the Dead from 1978. So this one, Howard Barker, Colin Taylor, Paul Childs, Brendan Brambles, Jason O'Neill, Vicky Hager, Alan Slade, Pam Cormack, Pete Priestley, Monkey Tube, BBB, James Moss, Daniel Smith, Paige Albert, Paul Bond, Atomic Snack Bar, Scriptor 13, Paint Matt Paint, Craig, The Real Killer, Movie Buff, Richard English, Pulse Adventures, Stand By for Summary Combustion, Daddy Vendor Rodriguez, Millie Congren, Gary Pryor, all going for this one. Sorry to rush and butcher the names, just a lot of people turned out for these movies. Dawn of the Dead. So, I'm going to be controversial here. I don't even like saying it, but not for me. Not in my top 20 at all. I like Dawn of the Dead. I think it's a good film, but I don't stretch to anything more than that. I know it is seen as like the ultimate zombie film. A lot of people, it's the ultimate horror film, and that's awesome. It is great. It doesn't do as much for me. I don't like the look of the zombies in Dawn of the Dead. I think they're quite poor, actually, in terms of the makeup. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm more a Day of the Dead or Fulci kind of zombie person, I suppose. But there's no denying the popularity of Dawn of the Dead. It always does well on these kind of countdowns. I have it mentioned on the channel a lot. I could watch it now and thoroughly enjoy it. It's not a bad movie. It's just not one of my go-to films. I don't consider it as strong as some other people. I'm really sorry. But you guys have put it into the top 3 in these greatest horror movie sequels. So let me know what you guys think. Is it that good? Is it a great sequel? Yeah, let me know. But in at number 3 is Dawn of the Dead. In at number 2, with 262 points, is Evil Dead 2 from 1987. Again, lots of people going for this one. Howard Barker, Turn the Blue Iris, Matt Blah, Erin Omi, Kerr666, Monster Gab, Eric, Brendan Brambles, Someone Is Else, Jason O'Neill, Pam Cormack, Planet Max, Martin McLaughlin, Jason Taylor, Film Wolf, Monkey Tube, Jack David, BBB, Daniel Smith, Mighty Source, Paige Halberg, Paint Matt Paint, Evil Ash, 80s Film Fan, The Real Killer, Movie Buff, Richard English, Cliff Davenport, Dollar Store, Cake of Demon, Stand By for Summary Combustion, Kevin Grady, Hudson, Daniel Gam, Paul, Midi Congan, Necro Pink, Gorgonzilla Dubstep, and Gary Pryor. Yeah, Evil Dead 2, fantastic. Love Evil Dead 2. Sort of kind of just does the first movie again, but a bit more with comedic energy, I would say. But it's so funny. I probably watched this one the most out of all the Evil Dead franchise. I love the cartoonishness of this one. Bruce Campbell is off the chart with his performance and his sort of maniacal energy in this. I love the possessed hand running around, all the crazy laughing things around the cabin. It still delivers on the gore and the demons and things like that. It's just absolutely fantastic. One of the most entertaining horror films I think you'll see. And I got no problem with this one being at number 2. It may well be my number 2 if I had to do this list. I'm not sure, but it would certainly be towards the top of the list. So let me know what you think. Your number 2 on this list is Evil Dead 2. And all the way through compiling this list and getting your comments and suggestions, there was always one clear winner. In at number 1 with a massive 326 points is Aliens from 1986. So Davini 13, The Prophet, Turner Blue Iris, Hoops Hooper, Matt W, Poor Child, Monster Gav, Eric, Nick Murphy, Someone Is Else, Jason O'Neill, Vicky Hager, Alan Slade, Pam Cormack, Planet Max, Pete Priestley, Jason Taylor, Movie Collector, Nat K, Monkey Tube, Sea Chase 100, Destiny Ranch, Christopher Charles, Paige Chalberg, Paul Bond, Tate the Hun, David Santacarla, Scriptor 13, Evil Ash, Professor Cliff Davenport, Andy's Rise, Standby for Summary Combustion, Kevin Grady, McDelly Bender Rodriguez, Hudson, Midi Congan, Gorgonzola Dubstep, and Gary Pryor, all going for Aliens. It was a clear favourite amongst you guys. And yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, Aliens is just an absolute beast of a sequel. I know there's the endless discussion of which is better, Alien or Aliens, and it really is almost impossible to separate them. If you want kind of slow burn, tense horror, it's Alien. If you want gung-ho, crazy action horror, it's Aliens. But this is just a fantastic movie. Some of the best characters you'll see in it. The action set pieces are fantastic. The aliens themselves are great. The giant alien queen, Stan Winston effects. Everything about Aliens is nigh on perfect. And it's not a surprise to see this one get to number one. And I probably would have to agree with it. It would certainly be right at the top of my list. So, in at number one by quite a way, thank you to you guys, is Aliens. So there we go, guys. They are the greatest horror movie sequels according to you, the people that watch this channel. Let me know what you think of that list. Hopefully I enjoyed it. Let me know what you agree with, anything that you'd change. I'd be really interested to know. And once again, thank you so much for getting involved with this. I really appreciate it. So thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.